the national capital waking up to a blanket of toxic smog. Now, the air quality has plunged into the very poor category. That's what these images are telling you. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, the city has recorded an alarming level of 335 AQI till about 8 a.m. Despite all the restrictions, there were widespread bursting of firecrackers. That's the reason why we are seeing a sharp spike in the pollution levels. This is triggering several noise pollution, and this is what is leading to a complete choking of the national capital. The Delhi government already has enforced GRAP stage 2, but the worsening is still happening. The condition is getting from bad to worse. The air quality still remains under severe stress. Authorities are now advising people to stay indoors and to avoid outdoor activity to protect themselves from the toxic air. My colleague has filed this report.
दिल्ली और एनसीआर के लोगों ने दिवाली की रात जमकर आतिशबाजी की। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ग्रीन पटाखों से बैन हटा लिया था, जिसकी वजह से पटाखों की दुकानें खुली, जमकर खरीदारी हुई और उसके बाद आतिशबाजी हुई। देर रात तक जगह जगह से पटाखों की आवाज़ें आती रहीं और उसका नतीजा सीधे दिल्ली और एनसीआर के जो हवा है उस पर पड़ा है। AQI 500 के पास पहुंच गया और ये बेहद ख़राब स्थिति है। हालांकि AQI पहले ही जैसे जैसे टेम्परेचर कम होना शुरू हुआ था, AQI बढ़ना शुरू हो गया था और जो बारिश के मौसम में 100 के नीचे AQI था वो धीरे धीरे 300 और 300 के पार भी कुछ इलाकों में पहुंच गया था। लेकिन दिवाली की रात जो आतिशबाजी हुई उसका असर ये देखने को मिला कि कई इलाकों में 500 के पास AQI पहुंच गया था। हालांकि हवा चल रही है और उसकी वजह से कई ऐसे इलाके हैं, अगर हम एनसीआर की बात करें तो नोएडा में, इंदिरापुरम में 400 के नीचे AQI है। हम लोग अक्षरधाम पे मौजूद हैं और यहाँ पर AQI 400 के ऊपर है। हालांकि अगर हम दिवाली के दिन की बात करें तो यहाँ पर 300 के ऊपर करीब AQI था, जो कि 400 के ऊपर पहुँच गया है। लगातार नज़र बना के रखी जा रही थी, पुलिस की कोशिश थी, तमाम एजेंसियों की कोशिश थी कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जो गाइडलाइन है उसके तहत जिन पटाखों की बिक्री अलाउ की गई है वही पटाखे बेचे जाएं। लेकिन कई जगहों पर देखा गया कि ग्रीन के अलावा दूसरे बैंड पटाखे भी बेचे जा रहे थे, जिन दुकानदारों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई की गई।
My colleague Amit Bharadwaj is now joining me on this story. Amit, what we are seeing, the AQI already almost 400, which means that this air has turned toxic. There is an advisory also which is now being given by the experts. Stay indoors, do not move out if you do not need to.
Aishwarya, the advisories can be given by the experts, health experts, but it is up to the government and up to the people of Delhi as to what kind of air quality they want for the children and the generations who live in the national capital, and not only in Delhi but also the adjoining areas of Gurugram, Faridabad, Noida, Greater Noida. Because the picture that we are seeing right after the Diwali festivities is glim. Right behind me is Akshardham temple, from where you saw a report filed by our colleague Himanshu. And as the camera will pan, you won't be able to see anything clearly. There's haziness in the sky, and many would argue that, look, the trend in the AQI does not suggest that this is happening because of the firecracker bursting which happened during the Diwali festivities. But for them, there's a reminder, gentlemen, this is October and not even November, when you had Parali menace happening all through the northern India. And, along with that, Diwali festivities, firecrackers would create a dangerous cocktail, forcing everybody living in Delhi to feel like as if they are living in a gas chamber. And this is the third week of October where you and I worry for the elderly and children, and also those who have respiratory issues as to how they would have survived the night that we have witnessed, the kind of fireworks that has happened. Coming back to that expert opinion, experts were continuously speaking that there is years of hard work by the policy makers, and more so by those who created campaigns to create awareness around firecrackers as to how we need to reduce such festivities. While our belief, our faith is in place, we have a tradition of bursting firecrackers, but there was a lot of awareness as well over the years which had generated. When this ban on the blanket ban on the firecrackers was removed, what we saw is the market was flooded with all sorts of crackers. You know, everybody was speaking about this, the fear that while you have allowed the green crackers, this is opening of the floodgates that the government agencies will not be able to handle, and that's what has happened. We have seen in all the neighborhoods that you live around in NCR. Why blame only the Delhi authorities? You know, you have Haryana, you have Uttar Pradesh. So because of that, the numbers are speaking, and even if you're not looking at the AQI monitors, you can feel the difficulty in breathing that people have gone through through the entire night. Back to you, Aishwarya.
Right, Amit, please stay on with me. Let us now break down. When we are telling you that Delhi is choking, we have data to back it. Let's just look at the AQI and how rapid the deterioration has been over the past few days. Now, if we talk about 21st October, that is today, the AQI is at 477. Just go back 24 hours, that is the 20th of October, it was 395. One step further, on the 19th of October, it was 236. On the 18th of October, it was 214. On the 17th of October, it was 206, which means that over the course of the last 5 days, you have seen the AQI jumping from 206, going all the way till 477. So this is the kind of deterioration that we are talking about. In just the last 5 days, this is what you are looking at. Today, the AQI is at 477. Let's now also tell you, let's just flip through the pages of history. Let's take a look at the last 6 Diwalis and what has happened. One smoky pattern, PM 2.5. Let's see what happened in 2024. When you look at 2024, you will see the AQI spiking up. We go back to 2023. This is the level that you could see in 2023. A day before Diwali, a day after Diwali. So you can see the spike there. Let's take a look at 2021. So all these things that you are seeing here at the moment, going all the way from this Diwali to the last 6 Diwalis, you see what happens exactly a day after Diwali. And this Diwali, the Supreme Court, in fact, had given out a window, but we all know how rules were being flouted, and that's the reason why you are seeing this. The past 6 Diwalis, there has been one smoky pattern before and after Diwali. The spike is so much clearer. You can see the AQI a day before Diwali almost 400 and a day after Diwali almost touching 600. This is PM 2.5. Now let me tell you, PM 2.5, these are such minute particles. They enter our system and then they settle into our lungs. So this is something that experts have been pointing towards. My colleague Amit Bharadwaj is now joining me on the story. Amit, what we are seeing, let's just take a look at the data that's coming in. Data is telling a horrific story. Unfortunately, it just takes 12 hours or so for the AQI to move into the hazardous category, and you cannot escape it. The entire Delhi NCR region almost in the severe category at the moment.
Aishwarya, to surprise of many of our viewers, the October data itself is a telling story. In the beginning of October, you had days where the AQI CPCB central data would reflect green patterns, which is, very good air quality, to it transitioning towards the yellow shade and eventually, as we speak, in the reddish shade. So that itself is reflection of the kind of menace that we are facing today and the challenge that we are up to. Having said that, we also need to understand that the climatic conditions in the national capital have started to change in October itself. So the experts were already worrisome about the fact that these climatic conditions would mean while the rest of several parts of the northern India could enjoy winters, the areas which are pollution hotspots are going to have difficult winter this time around because of the climatic conditions. This would already lead to spike in pollution. Air quality will plummet, and we saw in the past week as to how the data that you were speaking about as well, that a lot of contribution to it has been because of the climatic conditions in and around northern India as well. And with that, you have the restrictions on the blanket ban on the firecrackers being lifted, green crackers being allowed for a certain window, but we know how it works. You know, when you had a blanket ban on firecrackers in the national capital, even then you would have fireworks. Now, if you lift that restriction, ease off those restrictions, what is going to happen? We witnessed the last night. Many of the people were taking on to social media platforms, saying the kind of difficulty they had in breathing, burning sensation in their eyes or irritation on their skin, and especially those who had respiratory problems, even with the fact that they had, air purifiers at their homes. They were facing difficulties. Now, understand those who cannot afford to buy air purifiers, how it would have been for them, the kind of experience, horrific experience it would have been for them, and the economically lower strata people. So there comes a bigger question, do they not have the right to breathe in clean air? And here comes a bigger question for the authorities and also the residents of the national capital. When you realize that with past experience as well as the climatic conditions not being in your favor, whether self-restraint was required as well or not. Back to you.